I'm Shelby Bond, and I'm here along historic Route 66 in America. It is the 7th month of the pandemic in America, which you can tell from my hair, but a lot of people have been going crazy stuck in their homes. As the pandemic rages, a lot of us are sheltered in place. It's been just too much to handle, so some of us have headed out on the road. I headed over to Texas to be with family, and then back now toward Los Angeles. And instead of heading the 10, which is the most direct route from, say, Florida to Los Angeles, I have headed up to the 40, which is known as America's Main Street. And it goes from, I think, Boston to Florida. And stopped here at the historic Wigwam Village. One of the Wigwam villages, Wigwam Motel, off Route 66. There were 7 of these originally, and now there are only 3 left. 2 are on Route 66. One of the things that's great about these is they made these cement wigwams, teepees actually, back in the 20s and 30s. And I love it that they're not just a funky, kitschy place to stay. They have outfitted every teepee with its own historic car. So there's Hudson Hawks, there's Studebakers, of course, Fozzie the Bear's natural habitat. And they're super Americana. I just love it. Now, I wanted to go a major roads as little as possible, to take back roads. So what I've done is I started in Texas, headed straight up and over to Roswell. And in that way, I found these sand dunes that were fantastic. Traveling with a friend, and we've just been pulling off the road when we see something funny. So this time we saw these sand dunes pulled off, only people there at these sand dunes in New Mexico. Kept going through Roswell, of course, went to the UFO Museum and Research Center in Roswell. Kept heading, we saw a sign that said The Box. We're like, what's The Box? We gotta go to The Box, of course. So headed off the road at The Box and came to this box canyon that's, I guess, famous for rock climbers and stuff, even though there were none there, and found a cave, literally crawled inside the cave in the side of a cliff alone, had lunch in the middle of nowhere, and then headed on. And just as we stopped in little towns, one of the things that I found the most kind of disconcerting, it's been interesting, but disconcerting, is that a lot of these towns are not ghost towns in the old sense, in a new sense, in that businesses are closed one after another. Things that look like they've been closed for a few months because of the pandemic. And I don't just mean that they're looking to open again, they are shut down for sale. Everything has been for sale along this route. It's really sad and scary to wonder if any of these little places are gonna recover, or if they're just gonna end up with a Walmart, you know? So let's see, went through Lincoln County up in the mountains, home of the Lincoln County Wars, Billy the Kid's last stand, ended up there. Headed through, it's been interesting going through the natural preserves and forests, and then out into desert, and then back into forest. It's changed so much as we've gone up and down plateaus. But as we've traveled, it's made me think so much about the space we have in America. I spent the last couple years in the UK taking trains and things, and the space, the open road in America, there's nothing like it. And I think this is quintessential Americana, to be somewhere like this. Stayed in a motel last night in New Mexico where we were the only people at the motel. There was just no one else at the entire motel. I think businesses like that are just gonna fold, and they're gonna end up with ramadas and stuff, because mom and pop businesses just aren't gonna be able to handle this. But of course we have Mater over here, you know, so for the kids, you got Mater. All these great old, there's a 57 Chevy over here. I love the place. I'll tell you about the teepees. You can't see up to the top of the teepee though, so just to let you know, there's a roof in them, or a ceiling rather, so don't be disappointed. But they're kitschy, they're fun, and this is this place now. We're in Arizona to head back down through Arizona, just missing the tip of Nevada and then down into Southern California. I'm nervous about heading back into California again, back into Los Angeles, where the virus is so rampant. You'll see right over here, the place has been adorned with petrified trees, because we're right near the petrified forest here in Arizona, and so they've decorated with it. And if you have a chance to take a road trip, I recommend it, but I will tell you to be careful. And what we've done is everywhere we've gone, we've come in with our alcohol spray, every doorknob, every light fixture, wiped everything down, every faucet. Just be careful out there, because every town we've gone to, hardly anyone is wearing masks. We ended up at a place, I think in Arizona, in this great little shop called Junk and Java that was all sorts, the coffee shop with antiques everywhere. There were maybe 30 people in there playing guitars and banjo. It was a great music jam, not one person wearing a mask, which was scary. I don't know, maybe just out-of-towners have to wear them, I'm not sure. But I'm gonna keep on traveling and keep on growing my hair, and we'll see you down the road. Thanks for tuning in.
Well, if you ever plan